When you take out sections of forest, you get a lot of logs. Some of those are going to be used for boards. I hope to get my Alaskan sawmill up and running here. Use my chainsaw, cut some of our own lumber. But also, since we heat primarily, if not almost exclusively, with our wood stove, firewood is very important to us. For firewood, you're generally going to want to let it dry for a year or two before you use it and have what they call seasoned firewood. Nice and dry, no longer green, no longer fresh cut, but also not rotting or just soaked with water from hanging out in the elements. Since we periodically get access to things like old chicken houses or barns or stuff, we've got a lot of this metal around. I thought, why not put some on the top and the sides to help keep this wood dry. And as I built this first structure between these two trees, I wanted to keep it nice and tight, so I put some wire, and I put the wire in a hose so it wouldn't cut into the tree, and I wrapped that real tight across the top of it, nice and stable, and then decided, actually, if I add onto this and build a couple more sections, which is what I've done here, I should be able to build basically some miniature garages for the children. And that way they would have somewhere to store all this stuff that sits out in my yard. Here's one I've got entering from the side. Still got to put the barn tin on, but enter from the side. The reason I did the side rather than making this thing like a big H is that if I kept this like an H and had this be the opening, well, here's my cold smoker attachment for my smokehouse. I didn't want a lot of traffic coming past this area because this is a very important area to me. So this one enters from the side, and this one over here enters from the end. Now what this should be able to do for me is provide me with a nice storage for my firewood. And I've done a number of things. You know, that's a creative firewood storage right there. I've also got my wood shed behind the house. There's still some stacks in the woods I can see from here. You don't really want all your firewood in one pile because if it catches fire, then it's all gone. So I've got mine spread out, doing some different things, some different places. If you want to see how I built that one, I'll put a video probably up here, one of the corners. But this one is more dual purpose. I will store my firewood and provide the children with some shelter for their stuff that they're going to be able to use then. And I think it's going to work great. Let's get the roof on and see what it looks like. You know, I might add a little more side protection to two of these other faces here, but this really, you okay up there?
Yeah.
This really seems like it's going to work just fine. I am going to run something on the edge of here, just so children don't cut their heads open. If you look behind her, you see that round thing, center screen on the end of my smokehouse? I did that because I cut my head open on it. So probably this side too. And I may just kind of put a shelf across here up high. That way they could store some things here where it's out of the elements. But this should do what we want it to do. And I'm excited. It should keep the yard looking a little nicer because there'll be less toys and bikes and stuff just thrown around. A place for things to last longer because they'll be out of the elements. And then I'll get that seasoned firewood for a couple years from now. I like it. It should work.
Thank you for watching. And that fun. Thumbs up. For real.
The cow head is good?
Yeah.
That's because you know.